Hi there, my name is Brandon Shoemaker. I'm with FXVM.net. Today I'm going to show you how to connect to your VPS. The application you're looking for to connect to a VPS can be found on your Start menu, All Programs, Accessories, Remote Desktop Connection. Alternatively, you can type in MSTSC for Microsoft Terminal Server Client. Once the remote desktop connection application is running, you can go to Show Options, and you want to enter your correct IP address in this computer field. Here's the IP address we're using for this video. Be sure to include the custom port we use. For this username field, it's almost always administrator. On the display tab, you usually want to leave this slider here to the right, all the way to the right. On the color depth, you can pretty much leave this at 32-bit default. On the local resources tab, I usually like to uncheck the printers down here, and I'll click the More button, and I'll uncheck everything but my local C drive. Now this setting here will map your local C drive to the VPS, and that's useful for things like copying files from your PC to the VPS and vice versa. On the Programs tab, you don't have to really do anything. On the Experience tab, you can really leave this at the default. I like to set it to WAN because it shows my wallpaper on the VPS. If you happen to have a slow, unreliable connection, you might want to choose the satellite or low-speed broadband. And on the Advanced tab, you don't have to do anything. Once you have your settings entered, primarily the correct IP address and your username, you can do a Save As and save a shortcut to the desktop and call it something like My VPS. Once you have the shortcut on the desktop, you can close this window, and you can double click on the shortcut to connect to the VPS. You can check this box to not ask you again, click Connect, enter your password. Check this box to not ask you again, click Yes, and you will connect to your remote VPS. Now, notice this bar at the top. You have a few buttons here to the right. You have a Minimize. You have a Restore button, which will window the remote session. You have a Close or Disconnect button. And you have a pin here. You can click this pin and the bar will disappear. Move your mouse back up to the top and the bar will reappear, and you can repin it. This Minimize button here to the right will minimize the remote VPS session to the taskbar. You can click on it again and bring it back into the foreground. You can click this middle Restore button to window the remote session. And you can double click this bar at the top to maximize it again, full screen. You can click this Close or Disconnect button, and it will disconnect the remote session. Before we do that, let me point out something that's important to understand about a remote VPS session. You do not want to log off when you're done with a remote desktop session when you're running things like trading programs like MetaTrader, etc. You want to hit the Close Disconnect because that will leave the programs running. Now let me demonstrate that. If you click that Close button, you'll get a reminder here. Programs on the remote computer will continue to run after you've disconnected. You can reconnect to the remote session later by logging on again. So for example, let's say your trading program was running, and in this example I'm just going to use Notepad. say this was your trading program, you could hit the X and disconnect, but your trading program would continue to run. You can double click to connect again and you'll see that it's still running. And that's it. Really easy. Thanks for your time watching this video, and thanks for choosing FXVM.